Hello and warm welcome. I always think it's a bit funny, isn't it? I always say let's compare some ink tablets, but today we're going to talk about mainly this one, but I've got a few things planned actually. I've written out myself a little list here on my remarkable move, and I'm going to go through a few things. Going to talk about the new ViWoods pens, going to talk about the Mont Blanc digital paper as well, and of course I'll be talking about the remarkable Pro move, but I've also they're going to send me a Nxtpaper 60 Ultra, so I'm going to have a quick chat about that and the reTerminal as well, which I don't know if you've heard about, but I just got them out of the box today and I thought that I would include them in the stream. Let me know, please, in the chat that this is coming through loud and clear and that everything is looking good your end. And let's fire in. I want to compare. I want to get these both on the screen at the same time because on the left is the original HiBreak Pro, which is the black and white version. And on the right is the color version, and both of them right now have got their lights right off, so that's what you can expect there. This room is well lit. Thank you very much, lucky lady, glad to have you here, very much so. But normally with the Kaleido screen, you're going to end up running that light somewhere between a third and 2/3, about halfway, I guess. But of course, you're in the black and white screen world, you're generally going to get away with not having that on unless it is dark, in which case you can go for the warmer light or go for the colder light. Generally, as I say, I would run these with the lights right off. However, I have been really enjoying this, and I do frequently use Kaleido free screens with no front light at all. I just find good natural light. This is an interesting question here. Well, no, it's just if it is black and white content, it will show black and white. And if it's color, it will show color. It doesn't take any more power to use black and white mode. It doesn't take any more power or less power to use black and white or color. I'll come back to that color content in a second and just show you both the exact same book, looking exactly the same pretty much here on either side. It isn't, as you'll see, isn't more pleasant to read on the black and white one. It's more pleasant to read, pardon me, it isn't better to read on the color. It's better to read on the black and white when you've just got words. And when you've got just words on the color, it's not quite as nice because you don't have that high contrast. You do therefore just need to slip that front light on about sort of a third of the way up just to get it somewhere near the same way. However, I found this really quite good, and I have been reading quite a bit on this for myself, for my own pleasure, and also just because it's been in my pocket. It's been my sort of bedtime reader with my boy. So we've been reading Wild Robot on Kindle, been enjoying that. We're on book 2. We take it in turns, my wife and I. Haven't been reading Superman, but that was just to demonstrate the color content earlier. And I think that looks really good. I think that looks really totally acceptable. So actually, personally, I think because I am using it as my phone and that my SIM card is in there and I'm using it as a phone, as I did the black and white one for some time until I started testing out the Palmer with a SIM card. I was using the black and white one as my phone, and I find the color is useful just for getting around different apps. I just want to show you that difference. If you look at this, you're kind of used to, oh, I want the Kindle app. I'm kind of used to spotting the little bit of blue. And when you're then in the Kindle app, I thought I was logged in here. Yeah, Salam, yeah. You can see, well, in the black and white one, it's just harder to sort of see the difference between the different books. And of course, you aren't getting the same experience reading in black and white on a comic, for example, as you are on the color. And I think that this, I just showed this earlier on. Did you see that video? Did you watch that before this one? There's a little bit of flickering going on here, so I can sort that out. If I go into anti-shake, I need to go custom first, anti-shake. You'll see that will get rid of that flickering. I don't know if you saw that, perhaps didn't come through on the video, but I already have that anti-shake here. You can see here, they're both performing pretty much identically because they're an identical phone, apart from the Kaleido free screen. And really what's going on, if you want a little bit more information about that Kaleido free screen, really the active part of that screen is exactly the same. It's just it's using the black and white pixels to darken different colors. It's using the black and white pixels to darken different colors. So if it darkens red and blue, for instance, then the pixel shows green. But it means that for every 3 black and white pixels, there's only 1 color pixel, if you like, because each black and white pixel is doing the job of either a red, a green, or a blue. So yeah, it's really nice. I mean, that's totally acceptable still in the black and white one. It looks better than acceptable in my opinion. It looks really good. I really did enjoy using the HiBreak there, but I do think that for a phone, on reflection, I do think that for a phone, you do want color if you're going to be wanting to use it in different apps. So I just think it just looks really quite good there. But they are, as I said, I should find pretty darn similar battery performance. I can tell you I'm getting about 3 days, 3.5. I'm getting about 3 days and then I'm charging this phone. I probably don't use it as much as I do when I'm daily driving my big Samsung. Of course, that's the case. But, you know, for the limited use, and it's one of the reasons to get this type of phone is to use it less, but still want to pull it out of your pocket and read rather than pull it out of your pocket and doom scroll. But you can see they're identical chips, same code, everything's the same. Battery life, you'll see, will be the same. Might play an advert, which might just at least show how good it is at doing videos. It isn't actually showing me the battery in this one for some reason. But very similar. I've got them set up very similar. It's interesting that this one came with just a back cover rather than this fold around cover. I don't know if that was a separate one. Generally, they both look really similar in terms of that. Okay, any questions about these, let me know. Anything else that I plan to say? Yeah, I think that's about it really. Oh, the price. Actually, I couldn't even find a price for the color one. I was sure it was out in terms of being sold, but I couldn't. Just when I looked just now, I actually couldn't find a individual price. So I'll just share this screen here. This is the black and white one. I think they're pretty good prices, to be honest. I think that the black and white one, 300-ish pounds, 330 pounds there basically. I think it's quite good actually. And I do find it quite reliable in terms of its different bands. When I go around with it, it's doing pretty well. So if anyone's got a price on the color one or the price difference, could you tell me? That would be ideal for this here as well. They are selling them on Amazon as well. But I can't see. I can see the old color one, the Android 11 one. These are both Android 14, these guys, but I can't see the new color one there. So let me know. A few more questions. Is there a reason why the Books Palmer doesn't come with a pen? Yes, it's because it's a different type of technology on top to introduce a pen. You could, I suppose, do a very bad capacitive stylus on the Books Palmer without much change, but I just think that you need to have you have to have the technology enabled for the pen. It's not quite as simple as that. It takes e-ink building a paper stack, a screen stack with pen input on a phone, really. But that would be cool, wouldn't it? I think that'd be really cool. One of the reasons why I'm excited for the Nxtpaper 60 Ultra. Could the HiBreak Pro actually replace your phone mount? Well, yes, mostly. It depends. I think that I've lived with the HiBreak Pro for some time, and I've kind of got used to the thing that, no, it won't get rid of my phone for everything. I'm still running this old Z Fold 3. It was funny at IFA, like they had the kind of Samsung, the whole Samsung display at the trade show. Just left me completely cold, but they had the whole display there, and they had the Fold 7 out, and they were comparing it to the previous models, and they had the Fold 4, 5, and 6 there to show you the development. And I said, oh, I'm still running the Fold 3. And the guy said, yeah, it's over there. There is one here, but it's in the museum, he said. So they had it like in a case up on the wall with the Fold 1 and 2. Like, this is now obsolete, I think, pretty much. But one reason I love the Fold, of course, was having the pen. So I still use this daily for just scribbling down shopping lists and things like that. And that's what I'm excited for the Nxtpaper 60. And actually, I think there will be a logical thing for the next generation of e-ink smartphones to come with pen support. And e-ink, the corporation that make these screens, if you're listening, I think that should be your next step, really, especially when we've got a huge company like Remarkable going for a pen. It's a bigger, the Remarkable move is obviously bigger than the Bigme. But when you've got a company like that that wants a sort of mobile-sized writing tablet, then I think that it's logical to give us a Kaleido 3 screen at this size with a little stylus as well. Would be really useful. Where did I go? Where did I want to go with that? But yeah, can it actually replace your phone? Well, no, I can't, for instance, watch videos enjoyably on here. It's not bad, actually, but I wouldn't really want to watch videos on here for a long period of time. I wouldn't want to. What else do I still do here? I wouldn't spend a lot of time managing my emails or going to websites on here. Websites look fine, but there's so many things that I do on this because it's just a bigger screen in my pocket that it's kind of like this is my portable computer, really, the Z Fold, rather than. And I find this such a useful thing for work that it can't replace that. However, if you're a lighter phone user than I am, then probably this could. I've spoken to a lot of people. I mean, if you're a HiBreak Pro user in the chat, please just dial in and help Alex with this one. Does it replace your phone? So what I really am doing is deciding on a daily basis which phone to put in my pocket. I'm even going further than that at times because I've been wearing this thing, which is the Watch 6 Classic with LTE. So actually this has its own phone number now as well. And sometimes I'll go out and I'll just say, Steph, I'm not taking any phone at all. If you want to ring me on my watch. It's great. It's wonderful. So it's kind of like, and sometimes maybe this is in the car because Android Auto doesn't work well on here. So Android Auto in that, but I leave this in the car and leave that in my pocket when I'm going into the school building, for instance, at work quite a lot. I find that quite useful because I do find myself just checking this compulsively sometimes, more so than I actually did when I started talking about the whole idea of sort of compulsive checking and attention economy. Anyway, I'm going on. So yeah, the color version is sold out. I think they pretty much just sold them out the first tranche of them straight away. Thank you for this. So that's useful. So Bigme, the US site has 470 for the color, but on sale for $399. So okay, so it is like $400 really plays. I guess $330 for the black and white one. If I had only one e-ink note taking device, which one would I pick? Almost certainly the Supernote Manta, which is why it's my number one. Catching up, discovered channel 9 months ago. Thank you very much for that. Own first Remarkable, enjoying it. Never find a way to fit it in my day-to-day work. While it's clear there's pleasure in thinking with a pen. Yeah, absolutely. I like this comment. That's very interesting, actually. I think for me, I've always said to people, if you're someone who still writes things down on paper, if you're someone who still uses a notebook or a planner, then I think e-ink tablets are the thing for you. But don't try and shoehorn them in. If you work fine without them and you're happy with your workflow, then maybe you don't need one. I think, yeah, thinking with a pen, absolutely. But if your thinking is only very occasional, once a week or something like that you pull out a notepad and you enjoy looking at that, then maybe there's no need for an e-ink tablet. But for me, I'm a sort of everything I do every day, I'm making notes. I have a thought and I just want to note it down. So that's why they appeal to me so much. And actually, I'd love it if these guys had styluses as well. Is the new Books Palmer as slim as the previous versions? Yeah, it's exactly the same. Yeah. The new Palmer, I've had to send it back. I don't know if you saw the video. I literally made the video and then put it in a box factory reset it and then put it in a box. Yes, you are right. The HiBreak Pro is slightly thicker than the Palmer. I've got another Palmer. Just a moment. Well, you can see the cases. I mean, they're pretty identical. Yeah. So this is the Palmer 2. And okay, no, maybe I don't know actually. I don't think it is. I think they're the same. Yeah, I think there's a slight trick because the Palmer 2 has this curved edge. So it sort of appears to be slimmer, but I bet actually if I was to measure that, I think they're pretty much the same thickness. Whereas the HiBreak has just a bit more of a sort of rectangular edge to it. I'm not sure about heavier. Probably is a bit heavier. A few more modems and things in there. Yes. Is it a Bigme? Good question. Okay. Yeah. The one thing, and I meant to actually write it down, but I did intend on talking about this today, is the security settings, the security update, which, you know, is probably going to make some people the heebie-jeebies, and I don't blame you. But look here, I say, well, review settings, scan the device. Now, the only reason why it's a green tick at the minute is I've had to tell it to ignore this one, check for system updates. Because every single time I ask it to check for system updates, and it says security update from August 5th, and it says it hasn't had a system update in more than 23 months, which is a lie because I've updated it and it updates successfully, but then that notification comes back. So I just don't know really what I've asked them about it, and they've sort of said, well, we'll look into that. We'll make sure there's a fix. But yeah, so that's quite, I think it's quite stressful actually. So I'm not sure whether you want to wait and see on that one. I'll obviously bring you the news. You can't buy them right now because they're sold out, as you say. You might want to just wait and see on that one, see how that security update thing goes, because that's the Android system update. It's not the Bigme system update. The Bigme system says it's up to date, but the Android system thinks it isn't. So, question there, I guess. But other than that, not really. This is one of the few Bigme devices that just appears to be pretty good for its software. It's pretty much, I think, because it's a phone and it's like, well, phone software is pretty much one fits all. And Bigme can manage e-ink well. You know, this is the thing. What Bigme can do is they can do clean e-ink, and they can do really nice. You know, their e-ink center is almost as good as books. You know, if not the same. It's fast, it's clean, it can handle, you know, quick refreshes. I mean, you can just see there's very little ghosting there. Generally, the system on chip they've chosen can handle the e-ink well. Generally, the e-ink is handled really well. And so the fact that it's just a phone underneath that, it's kind of like, well, that's okay because that's not broken. That doesn't need much alteration for them. Thank you very much, Andre, for joining. Do appreciate you. Thank you very much indeed. You get priority responses whenever you want to ask any questions on my channel. I always make sure I respond to members as quickly as I possibly can. What's the best e-ink tablet for productivity at the moment? Wondering between Tab XC versus the newer books, A4 size. Well, the best for productivity is definitely the Tab XC. Yeah, that's the best for word processing, for spreadsheets and Notion and that kind of thing. It's just decide whether you want the more or less portable version, I suppose. Cool, let's fire on. So the next thing I wanted to look at was the ViWoods pens. And the ViWoods pens are very interesting, actually, because so many people are kind of leaving the EMR pen. They're leaving them behind, and Remarkable have gone for an active capacitive stylus, whereas ViWoods have decided, no, let's bring out a whole new generation of pens. And I didn't realize this actually, but there's actually 3 nib options. You've got in the box with the Stylus Pro Gen 3, I don't even know what's called that. You've got the felt nibs and you've got a palm nib. So I'm going to try that out, the palm nib just now. And then you've also got this ceramic stylus. So on here right now is the old stylus. And I'm really interested to get your response to this. Really, what's your reaction to ViWoods' big update being new pens? Were you expecting anything else? Do you hope for something else from ViWoods? Let me know. They've got some good software updates, it seems, as well. Let's try and see if we can get the fingerprint reader first time. No, second, third, fourth, and now it's, yeah, I'm giving in with it. So I kind of made a joke of that in my pen announcement video, and they seem to have, like, they talked a lot in their video on this. They talked a lot on increasing the coating, but I think they missed a bit of an opportunity to make a really premium looking and premium shape of stylus as well. I actually am not such a big a fan of the texture of it, but I don't think it matters. The texture doesn't matter too much. But the only difference, therefore, in my opinion, I was really hoping they would replace the eraser button, because I keep accidentally touching that whilst I'm writing. Only difference really is that nib. So we've got two options now. We've got ceramic, which is the one that I prefer for sure. It doesn't feel quite as good as the Supernote does, because it doesn't have the Feel Right film on it. They talk in this, like, if you scroll down on the website, which I'm sure you'll do at your own leisure, they talk about it having twice the polling rate and therefore twice the accuracy. They talk a lot about, less wobble from the nib, twice the report rate, it says there, a linear pressure gradient as well. Never had any issue with the accuracy of the pen. I suppose going directly from one to the other, you can tell that there's a difference there. Okay. But yeah, so you've got these two options now. But what it does mean is that ViWoods are saying, yep, we are sticking with Wacom Myanmar. We are going to, maybe that's it. Maybe that's the thing that we have decided is going to make us different from Remarkable and the others, is the Wacom Myanmar. One thing that I've just remembered there and remembered to say is that the eraser is also pressure sensitive. So you see, if I press harder, I get a bigger area erase. But just do you a sort of area of pencil, and the pen tools are pretty good. I do a light erase stroke. Oh, that was pretty big actually. Yeah, and then a harder erase stroke. You can see in a larger area, which is quite nice actually. I tried that on the Remarkable, and the Remarkable doesn't do that. But yeah, you get the ceramic nib, and you get some really good quality. I did some macro shots on these on my video launching this, and then you get, this is the felt nib. But then also in the packet with this one, with the one, not the ceramics pen, you get, because the ceramic nib won't need replacing, of course, you get some replacement nibs. And I don't know if this is what you'll get, or if this is just what they've sent me, but they've sent me one POM and 3 extra felt ones. It might be because, well, the felt ones will run out quicker than the POM one will. But now we can try also the POM, and you can perhaps see as well that they've made the end of the nib a bit thicker, so it's a bit more durable. I'm going to break this off, and so this is now the POM nib. Actually, that's really nice. Out of the three, I still prefer the ceramic, then the POM, and then finally the felt. The felt feeling nibs have never been my favorite. That's pretty nice actually, guys. And actually, this is a nice place for drawing. So ViWoods, for all the chat about it being the AI tablet and all this, actually, it's the place for drawing. It's a really quite a nice one for drawing. It's got a good pencil tool with some nice pressure gradient and tilt. And it's got some nice pen tools, which look good. It's just a nice place for drawing. Some of the other things done in an update recently, one thing was that you can make events. just by selecting some text like so. You press the AI button and then you can say create event, and then this will actually put it into your calendar as well. So actually ViWoods is one to look at because they're starting to make it. It didn't seem to work that I did it. Did I not even touch the right thing? He's thinking about it. Content not recognized. Okay, should I try again? I'll just try printing. So from the lasso, it should let me create an event. No, content not recognized again. So there we are. Perhaps I'm getting something wrong there. It's my first try with that. But they are trying their best to link together all these things. And actually the daily, which is the calendar, is well considered, and it's well considered the way that notes link to daily and all of these things. Well, so it's, you know, it's getting towards a mature it's getting towards a mature ecosystem now. So okay, cool. I'm going to fire on with thinking about that. Let me know what you think about that stuff as well. Should they actually have made a better body of the pen rather than care so much about the nibs? Should they really have thought about the surface as well? Maybe is there a way that they could actually get in on the same deal as the Supernote and get this Wacom trademark, the Feel Right film that they have on top of theirs, if they're going to go with the ceramic nibs? Yeah, maybe. Okay, so that's an interesting one. And what do you think about the direction that ViWoods is going? I think I'll just quickly gather my thoughts for a moment, fire in any questions, and I will just leave you very quickly. Not leave you, but I'll be back with talking about the Mont Blanc digital paper next. If you're a tech enthusiast and you need AI at the touch of a button, the ViWoods might be worth considering for you. They're selling this on the AI functionalities from this dedicated AI button here at the bottom. You can hold it down and just speak to it. However, I think if you're really into AI, you'll probably be installing and using your own models here on the device. And now that it's got the Google Play Store, there are fewer reasons not to recommend the AI paper from ViWoods. But the real reason to buy this is if you want the Carta 1300, the latest, the best contrast, and the best definition screen that you can get on e-ink. Along with the Wacom EMR pen, ViWoods is shaping up to be a really popular choice. ViWoods is quite a new brand, and they've gone down the route of integrating AI as their unique selling point. But for now, the software is not as mature as some of the other options that are out there. But it's an elegant design. It is the thinnest tablet that you could buy, thinner than an iPad Pro, 4.5 millimeters thin. And in use, you really do appreciate the paper-like feeling of having a really thin tablet like that in your bag or on your desk. Thanks so much for being here and spending time with me on this live stream. I really enjoy engaging with you guys and answering your questions live. It's a massive support to me. Now, if you do decide that one of the devices that I review here on my channel is for you, then go ahead and check the links in the description, because when you make a purchase through a YouTuber's affiliate links, you make it possible for us to keep making content for you. So hopefully that has fixed it. Is that now, are you hearing the sound now? Still no sound? Let me know if you're now got me loud and clear. Yes or no? Sound is back. Right. Thanks, guys. Right. Okay. So apologies. I've gone back to my my Rode mic. Hopefully it's good enough. Hello, short attention span. Thank you very much for that. No idea where that all went. Doesn't normally happen when I go off for a little moment with that. Where was I? Yes, I was talking about affiliate stuff, and you didn't hear that. So the ViWoods is no longer the finished tablet you can buy. The AI Note 2 from iFlyTech is, and as far as I'm aware, the only videos you've seen of that so far will be sponsored videos. In that, iFlyTech has sent them a tablet and told them what to say. They've told them the talking points to make. They've told them what to cover. So if that's ever the case on one of my videos, be very clear that that is the case. I'll say thanks for sponsoring the video. There'll be the sponsored banner, and that will be absolutely sure. And I don't do that with e-ink tablets, just because one of the things I mainly do here is compare them. So iFlyTech is 4.1 millimeters thin, which is massively thin, and that's incredible they've managed to do that. I wonder about the software quality on that. They're probably in the same place that ViWoods were half a year ago, and they will be developing those things as well. So let's hope for that. They've been in contact again, and once again I've said no, I'm not interested in making the video if you expect me to say certain things, so don't send it to me. We will see. Voya did, they did of the iFlyTech AI Note 1, or the AI Note Air, I think it's called, but the AI Note 2, which is the 10.3, that as far as I've seen, there hasn't been an independent review of that yet because they're not officially out yet. We'll see. Thanks so much for bearing with me, and let's fire in. Yes, I've talked about the HiBreak Pro color. I did that at the start. Okay, so if you just want to roll the thing back and watch the first 20 minutes, then that's where that all is. Okay, cool. Yeah, so let's talk about the Mont Blanc. How excited are you for the Mont Blanc? Are you excited at all? Do you care about the Mont Blanc digital paper? I think it's an interesting one because it's another large company seeing the success of brands like Remarkable and Supernote and thinking, hey, we can give this a go. And for me, I think, I wonder, I very much wonder whether they will have that same issue, that actually probably they can make a nice bit of hardware. Probably their pen will feel nice in the hand because they're so used to making luxury items. Looks like you're going to be able to write nicely, but who knows whether that animation was really made, and that wasn't on the actual, that wasn't drawn on there. That was drawn on a professional writing tablet, I can tell you that, and then probably cleaned up. A professional drawing tablet. So you can't necessarily trust this is what you're going to get out of it. And you'll notice in any videos that you see of it, there's very little sustained writing action in the videos. And that's, because this will probably be, and I really want to try one out, and I'm going to reserve my thoughts there. It's a charged active capacitive stylus with haptic feedback, which is what books have done in their Tab XC. It's not therefore going to be terrible quality writing, but it's not going to be the best, and it probably won't look like it does there. But I do like, the different options you have with different pens. Really, I think this is going to be a lovely one. Somebody called it the Wes Anderson one. It does look like it's going to be a really nice bit of hardware. But you know what it reminds me of a lot? It reminds me of the Lenovo Smart Paper, which was lovely looking hardware, but then it just was terrible software that was just so basic and unusable. When you're used to coming from something like even a Remarkable, which has limited software, when you're used to that, I'm pretty sure that, I really want to see a bit more of what they've got on the screen there. I'm pretty sure they won't have many options. Are they going to, from the get-go, have AI handwriting recognition? Are they going to have like linking, table of contents things? So many of these e-tablets, they launch without even the ability to make folders. I mean, it's just so many kind of basic things that you would expect to be there aren't there on the start. And sure, I'm going to reserve my thoughts until I've got one in my hands, until I can see one. I put out a poll and asked if anyone had one already, because I know some people have managed to buy these already. I would love it if, if somebody wanted to jump on the live stream and just, maybe share their experience with us. It'd be really cool. So if anyone does want to do that in the future, then definitely do. But what do you guys think? That's what I want to think about that. No, there isn't a larger Air Force C with EMR, not with color. So if you want large with EMR, that's wrong actually. There is the Fujitsu, but that's the lower resolution, 13.3. There we go. Very scared. We'll see more USI stylus. Yeah, forcing the wobbled lines upon us. Yeah, interesting, eh? That's a very good point. Yeah, I think that's probably the way things are going. I don't know whether it's a USI stylus. They said AEM, which I hope means active electromagnetic, but I don't think so. I think it's going to be active capacitive. I hope the Mont Blanc will be cool, but I reckon it'll just be overpriced and mediocre, just like the notebooks. Yeah, well, that's what they do, isn't it? I mean, overpriced, it's luxury goods, isn't it? One thing I was thinking about, like so many companies like Remarkable have gone away from the EMR. And actually, I was writing on this earlier, and I was thinking to myself that maybe this is okay. Maybe I'm just so used to saying that EMR is like a gold standard that I just can't stop kind of thinking that. And all the kind of agreed wisdom is that EMR is the best, the best, the best. But actually, generally, this is very good USI. This is a good example of a USI stylus. They've worked hard to make it good enough for handwriting. But yeah, if you've used a Supernote in your life, then you know how good it can be. And we just don't like that wobbled lines, and that's that handwriting that just looks slightly off. I hope the Mont Blanc will be. Yeah, so we've done that one, haven't we? Besides the overall feature of each device, the use case, etc., it seems the ceramic nib from Manta is the best by far, and a deal breaker, is it not? Certainly is. I mean, that is one of the main things that keeps that Manta device right at the very top. Also, just the well-considered software. As I was saying there with the Mont Blanc, I'm betting they put a lot of time and effort into making the hardware look great, and probably less time into the software. But we'll see. We will see. We'll give it time. Eye-wateringly expensive. Yeah, £750 there just for the tablet and the pen, and then another £170. So almost £1,000. That's £170 is for the folio. Almost £1,000. This machine is weird. 10.3. The only people are black and white with USI. And as far as I know, I haven't seen that out of being before. Yeah, that's an interesting one. So is it 10.3? Meaning it's probably Carter 1200 or 1250. But I guess they can put a capacitive pen on anything really, so we'll see a USI. Something I learned recently from the 7 Pens Discord is that the quality of USI is heavily dependent on the quality of the controller chip used in the screen. There are USI controllers that can be as high quality as EMR, but hardly any OEMs ever use them. It's all about what they choose to put in. Yeah, I really noticed this when USI themselves sent me the Android tablet, the Google Pixel tablet thing with the dock, and they sent me at the same time, they sent me the Amazon Fire 10. Both of them use the same USI pens, but the handwriting was terrible on the HD, the Amazon Fire tablet, and it was good enough on the Pixel. Not as good as an EMR, but better. So interesting. Yeah, I think that, and I also think probably whatever the resolution of the touch grid is, because that's what it's essentially using, whatever the resolution of the touch grid has probably got a lot to do with it as well. So yeah, the controller and we saw what wonders the T2000 controller did when it started getting into the e-ink tablets, the color e-ink tablets. So it is, the previous wisdom that you didn't need high quality compute components in e-ink tablets is definitely out the window. You definitely need those good ones. And it's about polling rate. So how many times per second can you work out where the pen is, and what line can you therefore interpolate between those points. That's going to tell you how accurate that is. Yes, USI acts as a function of the combo of the capacitive grid, density and quality of the USI controller and the pen. Yeah, absolutely. So there we are. We've solved that one. I wonder who the Mont Blanc is for. People who, yeah, this is it. It's for two people, I think. It's for the people who like already buy everything Mont Blanc. And it's like, oh, I've heard about these type of things, or I didn't know that exists, or that's just another Mont Blanc thing that I'm going to buy. Or for people, yeah, who've heard about Remarkable or other e-ink tablets and just think, wow, gosh, the Mont Blanc, they make high quality stuff. That's £200 more, but I'll get that because I kind of trust that brand name. I agree. That's what it's for. And it's for the people who buy that in general. They're not going to be the people on this kind of stream. No offense to anyone who buys it or is not on the stream or anyone who's here. But if you're here, you're probably interested in the kind of qualities and you're aware that the software is different on different tablets. Whereas people who buy that are probably just going to think, oh, cool, it's like a Kindle that I can write on. It's like a e-ink screen that I can use as my notebook. And probably it will do that job just fine. I had a friend who asked, what should I buy? And I asked him, well, what do you want to read? Do you want to write? And he said, yeah, well, I've got a Kindle, so I've got loads of books on Kindle. And I said, well, just get a Kindle Scribe then, because it's not expensive and it's a great screen and a great pen. And, if you want to just use a bit of handwriting as well, basically like a notebook, then it's good enough. And so for some people, that's just good enough. And I said, but I kind of bet that if you use that for a while, and I said, well, borrow mine. If you use that for a while and you like the handwriting experience, you like using it as a notebook, I bet you'll start wanting more features. So yeah, the Mont Blanc is probably a first port of call. And let's hope, that what has happened to a lot of tablets, never happened to the poor Lenovo, never really happened to the Scribe, is that it started out simple. The ViWoods started out not able to do much, and then they put a lot of effort into developing the software, and now it's a good tablet. Let's talk about the Nxtpaper then next. What's my opinion on the Nxtpaper tablet for reading and drawing purposes? Certainly the Wacom, not the Wacom, pardon me, the XP pen that I've used with the Nxtpaper screen is really, really good. If you can get over the fact that the reading angles are poor, but for drawing, it's really, really nice because you're looking at it at this angle. But the Nxtpaper screen, and it's interesting to me because this Nxtpaper screen that is in this guy in Nxtpaper 60 Ultra is their sort of latest generation. I'm going to say it's like the 4th generation of Nxtpaper, and it's therefore more advanced, more advanced than the one in the XP pen. It says circadian comfort, eye comfort, dim light, reflection free. I think it's better than LCD or OLED for those things, but it's just not. It says true paper restoration technology. Well, what on earth is that supposed to mean? I suppose it's like indenting a little bit. Is it like it's a very rough feeling screen, a very scratchy kind of notebook. Blue light purification. Zero flickering technology. I'm going to test that a lot when I get my hands on it. Writing feel is nice. It has a good pen. It has the XP pen. What do you guys think about this? Do you think this is something that's going to be really good? Lots of things they have invented for this. You got Nxtpaper 4.0, but it isn't e-ink. And later they say an e-ink inspired screen. I mean, this circular polarization, what on earth is this animation here? That's not how polarization works. But anyway, so you should be able to read it. Your sunglasses, cool. Minimize harmful blue light. I suppose they're saying it removes, I suppose they're saying it removes I suppose they're saying it removes certain frequencies, purifies by removing certain frequencies. Not the wrong terminology, isn't it? But they've got the Rhineland certification, but everyone's got that. It's got an etched display, nano etched display, so it shouldn't give you so many reflections and things like that. Yeah, generally, it was quite a nice looking screen. It's nicer than ordinary LCD, and this stylus is really good. So here it says paper-like display, paper-like tactile feel. It's an EMR stylus with 4,000 levels of pressure, low latency. It felt really good. They call it T-Pen. Dive into what matters. So it's got a switch for max ink mode. Now it says 7 days max ink mode. I don't believe that one moment. That's like, if you check your email once every day for 7 days, up to 28 days standby time. Don't believe that for one moment. Yeah, it's again up to. It's the keywords there. Ink paper mode and e-ink inspired display. I don't know how they're getting away with this because e-ink is a trademark. I don't know how they're getting away with blatantly in their marketing using the term e-ink, probably because it's got a dash and says inspired after it. But everyone and the influencers that they give it to, they certainly encourage them to accidentally say, again, I'm not saying that they've said this specifically, but they certainly are leaning towards e-ink is the recognizable word. But e-ink is the brand that makes e-ink screens. The e-ink is different from e-paper. This isn't e-ink, nor is it really e-paper, because e-paper for me has to have those two things. It has to be reflective. In other words, like it uses ambient light and benefits from having more light around it because it's like paper. It's like physical pigment on a white surface. That's what e-ink or e-paper really is to me. And secondly, that it's bistable. E-paper doesn't need any energy to leave the image on. Hence the terminal, which we'll talk about in a little while, is still showing the image it was showing earlier on without having to use up any extra energy. That's what being e-paper is. And certainly, yeah, we're not going to say electrophoretic every single time. Absolutely. We're like being bistable, being able to be printed on there. You must be willing to do what others won't do, to have what others won't have. For example, I was looking at this motivational quote, which I get a daily motivational quote on this, and it changes every 5 minutes. This cycles through a whole little playlist. And it's thinking that, for example, live streaming between the hours of 9 and 10 on a Thursday evening. That's kind of what others aren't willing to do. AI rapid read, AI outline, AI QI. So yeah, it's got AI in it. But actually, the thing that I like about this this phone quite a lot though is it's got a decent enough kind of mid to top tier MediaTek 7400, I think, and it's got a good set of cameras, it seems, and I think that combo could be quite winning, really. So we'll see. I took a few photos with the camera. They make it look like it's kind of one big sensor in there, doesn't it? But it can't be it. I don't know what they're going for there. It's got a periscope and 250 50 megapixels. That's not a good animation, that is it. So having a decent camera will be good, I think, as well. And then it's going to do some AI stuff to change your image around. No, I can guarantee you none of these images were shot on the phone. I will say that somewhere, I'm sure. Cynic of me, definitely none of these were shot on the phone. There's the MediaTek. A decent MediaTek. I think it's a decent phone. And having used it a little bit, just a tiny bit at the IFA, I think actually it got me quite excited when I put the pen on the paper, on the e-paper. And I thought, yeah, okay. When I put the pen on the Nxtpaper screen and the texture was good, I thought to myself, okay, I loved the Note series from Samsung. And I was disappointed when that wasn't going to be in the Fold 7. It just immediately stopped me being interested in buying that phone. I hope that whatever Samsung brings out in the G Fold series, maybe that will have a S Pen. I don't know, but I pulled that little pen out and I thought, okay, this is good. And yeah, it made sense then. And I think that's one thing that I certainly will want in the phone. So yeah, are you guys excited for this one as well? Let me know. Let's go through some chat just now. And then I've got a few, I've got 2 more brief things to talk through. What are we up to? Nxtpaper tablets seem to be a poor quality for writing from my testing, but the Nxtpaper 60 Ultra phone with hand-on EMR is potentially a game changer for portable note-taking, in my opinion. It needs to get to the US. Yeah, absolutely, yes. That certainly seems to be in Germany, really, at the minute only, as far as I can see. Yeah, hand-on EMR, just as good. They do XP Pen and they do Zense Labs, so they're good. Excellent things. And the Nxtpaper tablets don't have the hand-on ones, whereas the Nxtpaper 60 Ultra does. So Nxtpaper, TCL are working with XP Pen and XP Pen are working with TCL. So that kind of crossover, I think, could be a really winning crossover in the near future. I hope Mont Blanc understand it's not about the hardware and beauty, it's about the writing experience. Not only the writing feeling, but the features should be there to enhance workflow and organization. Yes, I don't know whether they will. I think they might think that the way the pen feels, I mean, that's certainly going to be a nice pen. That's going to be like, you know, that's going to make Supernote think, gosh, we thought we had the nicest feeling pen in the hand. And Mont Blanc will definitely have made a good writing feel, hand feel. The way the pen feels in the hand will certainly be very good for them. I mean, there's that, and there's the Lamy, although the Lamy is one of the Lamys that I don't love that Lamy as much, so I love the more classically styled Lamys. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, there is an actual usable e-ink phone. Yeah, it's the HiBreak Pro. We did that at the start, Simon. So watch till the end because I've only got 10 or 15 more minutes, and then go back to the start and you'll see that bit. 40 euros for 8 new pen tips for the Mont Blanc, by the way. That's crazy as well. Yeah, it is. Yeah. And I wonder, because most most USI pens, their tips don't go down quite as quickly as EMR ones do. Keep trying to convince Rod that if he tried the Nxtpaper 60 Ultra, he'd be a convert, but he refuses to believe me. Yeah, Rod. Where is Rod? I went on Rod's chat the other day. Can somebody go pull him into this chat? Good old Rod. It would be a good laugh. Yeah, somebody pester him. If you're in Rod's Discord or something, tell him get on Kit's chat. I haven't got a round of applause sound effect, but still tell him to get in. Excited about Air Note 2, 4.2 millimeters lightweight in Kickstarter. I think it has potential. Yes, as I was talking about earlier on, though, just it's a hard one because they're very much of the opinion that they won't send out devices unless they get control over what's said in the review. Let's just leave it as that. They did say e-ink inspired. E-ink is going to come after them if they keep that up. Yeah, maybe they can get away with the fact that it's now in such common usage that people say e-ink. Maybe legally they can get around that. I hope the e-ink is better than the translation from their marketing department. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I noticed some funny things in there as well. E-paper is too much of a catch-all. Even our LCD is e-paper. Yeah, again, and I don't consider that to be e-paper myself. It's just that's for people who don't get along with any type of light directed at them or any type of flicker. Jay and Kit, my friend is interested because it doesn't have the limitation of most ink tablets. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a middle ground, but it leans towards the LCD, in my opinion, because it is LCD. Let's not forget, it's LCD with clever lenses on top. The front of a screen is called a cover lens because how it treats the light that's hitting it and coming through it. It always is, no matter what type of tablet we're talking about. They call it a cover lens, not a piece of glass, because it. And so basically, all of the Nxtpaper is a clever cover lens on top of a high quality, because TCL make good screens, high quality LCD screen. So I'm definitely not knocking on it. I think it's going to be good. Yeah, it's a reasonably good SoC. It is, yeah. Cameras seem optically very good. Yeah, I took a few photos with it and they looked pretty good. Zoomed in, got some nice detail. But again, it's not going to be top of the line MediaTek. It's not going to be Snapdragon 8 Elite, that type of thing. Certainly is healthy to try and disrupt that monopoly. Somebody, I think it was on the Adam Savage's Tested review, Norm talked about the remarkable move and said, very much hope that the e-ink screens can get to the point where they're commoditized, is the way he said. So that's how the price will be brought down. Once factories are putting them out, very similar things under common usage kind of patterns, then we'll get to the point where they're cheaper, and that'll be good for everyone, consumers at least. HiBreak Pro color versus future Palmer. Well, watch my video from earlier, because I think the choice is whether you want a phone or not, and I think they both have 4G connectivity or mobile connectivity, because this is 5G, but the Palmer won't be a phone. Serious thought to importing an Nxtpaper 60 Ultra, only because it's a massive price cut compared to Samsung equivalent and lacks Samsung's enthusiastic Android skinning. Yeah, do you know, I was thinking earlier on, one of the reasons why I can't seem to get rid of this is just how deep Samsung have their claws in me. I thought it was Android, but there's so much on there where I'm like, oh, I just know where to find that thing. Yeah, one day I will move away from Samsung, I'm sure. Has anyone switched from iPad to books for academic reading and notation? I think you have a great time. For reading, I think you have an amazing switch. But it depends. If your eyes don't feel tired after reading on the iPad, then you've got no reason to move, really, in my opinion. Besides the hybrid matte LCD tablets like Magic Notepad, XP Pen, Nxtpaper, Huawei latest tech, I'd rather prefer an proper e-ink solution for PDF reading and note taking. Yes, that definitely answers that question, I think. Between handwriting OCR noting capabilities of Manta, non-replaceable ceramics, as well as versatility of the book software ecosystem and design, what about the latest developments on Modus to increase the frequency to 75 Hz? Yeah, e-ink is just going that way, but I think that the kind of 15 Hz of a generation ago was fine as well for most things. But yeah, it's exciting how good e-ink can, how good e-ink is right now. And how good it can be in just a few short generations is going to be really exciting. No, it's too new to go on sale. Remarkable don't really discount their things until they're trying to sell them off at the end of a line. And they've only ever ended one line. They've only ever ended the Remarkable one. The only discount you get from Remarkable directly is on refurbished ones. And even that's only about 20 quid here or there. So I wouldn't hold out for that. I think they've sunk that kind of money into giving you the very generous returns policy. That kind of money they could be using to discount things. They've said, well, let's make it a 100-day return policy. So I think if you think the remove is for you, then go with it. Decide in 85 days whether you send it back or not. If someone wants to draw on a tablet but doesn't want an iPad, so screen protector doesn't want USI pens, something like the Nxtpaper, a viable option. The viewing angles that bad? Well, no, the viewing angles are bad, but when you're drawing, you're holding it in your hand and you're looking at it at 90 degrees, it's fine. So definitely check out. I've got a couple of reviews with the XP Pen in it. Definitely check out the XP Pen Magic Notepad. Incidentally, interesting, the Magic Notepad, they advertise it being a Nxtpaper screen, but the Magic Drawing Pad, they don't. So it isn't the same technology in the Magic Drawing Pad as it is in the Magic Notepad. So the Magic Notepad is a bit smaller, but it's actually probably it's got the Nxtpaper screen. Can't make phone calls on this 4G equipped Palmer is a very weird. I agree. We'll see on that one. We'll see what comes. Room with color, yeah. Then the color is great on that Nxtpaper thing there. Right, let's crack on. Samsung is getting away from S Pen on phone. Maybe we have to move to TCL Nxtpen. Yeah, absolutely. The T Pen apparently is going to be called. So there we go. Cool. What about the reTerminal then? Is this a new one for you? I unboxed this one today. It's from a company called Seed Studio, I want to say. Yeah, it's the reTerminal from Seed Studio. Let's just bring up their website really briefly and show you what they're all about. They're this type of company. Very cool things. Single board computer type things. But they reached out and offered to send me this, which is it's guy here, the reTerminal. $70. Look, $70 monochrome one. This is a very similar beast to the terminal, which I almost pulled off the wall here, which is already off the wall. So this is the same panel. I'm sure this is the same 800 by 600 black and white e-ink, basic e-ink panel, basically. The reTerminal is very, very good. I'm well impressed with it. It's plastic build, and yeah, it was very easy to set up, and you can do sort of DIY on it as well. But one thing Terminal do, pardon me, the terminal was very easy to set up. One thing Terminal do is they make their terminal software open source, so you can set it up on any device. And actually, this company, Seed Studio, now make these things called reTerminals, and there's a whole lineup. And I did think to myself, God, you guys are just really copying people, aren't you? Like for remarkable, terminal from terminal, and you just kind of imitating. But I found actually that in their website, there's a product they've worked with Terminal on. So clearly clearly both companies are quite happy to work together. And actually, I'm pretty sure that Terminal are putting these things out of their factory as quick as they possibly can. And they're selling them all because people really like them and they're really good. Has anyone got a Terminal and found that it to be really good? So I set this up earlier on, and without going into the terminal, I've used their own app to put an RSS feed for my RSS feed for BBC News. So that's cool, and it's updated. Really like that. I don't know what on earth's going on with this. I mean, what time in Labour? I mean, come on, guys. Are we really that thick that we think right now is the right time to have a leadership battle? I mean, come on. Digital ID plans, that's updated earlier on. Yeah, 5 o'clock book, 6 o'clock. So there we go. So that's sitting now, just updating BBC News headlines. Like that a lot. And then on this guy, this little panel, and you see it, unlike the terminal, it's got an audible beep. It's got 2 buttons for left and right. It's got a reconnect to Wi-Fi, and you can see it's a what's it called? Spectra panel. It's not Spectra 6 though. Don't get too excited. It's not quite the resolution. If I go zoom in, you'll see, it's quite low resolution, and it's currently just displaying some of my photos from my holiday in the States. That's on Arcadia Park, beautiful place. Very cold. See that? You'll see it updating there, but it's nice, and actually, although up close it doesn't look great. Let's just see that ink building the image, because it's having to deal with the dithering. I think it could be made to look better. And if I pick images that had maybe some more, so what I'm looking for, that had more like the kind of colors, just more areas of the colors that Spectra does really well, then I think it would look even better than this. Yeah, check it out. It's cool, right? I suppose I should have given a flash warning, so apologies. Yeah, I think it's really cool. And actually, up close, it looks quite pixelated, but actually, when it's just on my desk, it looks quite nice. And you can glance at that and you think, oh, yeah, there's my photo. And then that's on a thing just to update that every few minutes as well. So cool products to have a little look around. And the color one is $100, I believe. Let's have a quick look. I know it's $100. It's $99. There we are. £10 off. So have a little look at reTerminal from Seed Studio if you're interested in that. And as I said, I haven't figured that out yet, but you can just put the terminal software on that. And there's an SD card slot in the back, and there's a USB-C, and there's forward, backward, and an on-off switch as well. And there's also, is that some kind of input output? It's not a breadboard. Is it Arduino thing? I don't know. There's a little set of pins there that you can put some kind of data out from that as well. So cool. What do you guys think about that? yeah, that's just how it was changing the image. Yeah. So as far as I'm aware, there's like 6 pigments in there, and the way that they move them around is by different times of flight. So they have to move one then the other, basically, because the different like frequency of that flash means that you'll get one towards the surface as they will move at different rates. One towards the surface and the other one will be lower down. Yeah, terminals, yeah, they've all been updated, haven't they, to nicer colors? Yeah, check it out. Oh yeah, more shades, I should say, rather than nicer colors. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, it does occasionally. Somebody said that flashing would distract me. Yeah, but you can change the frequency which it does that. So you could just have it change once every day. That's probably what I would. I don't know why you're making noise. Maybe I'll just switch you off. And you can see it's off, but it's still showing the thing that it was because it's true e-paper. It's bistable. I like it a lot. I like both of those. I think, yeah, that photo frame was really quite straightforward to set up. Full video on it coming soon. And yeah, just set it to change once every night. So you wake up with a different photo every day. I think that's quite a cool idea. Gallery has color mixing, less flashing, but not true black. Spectra has longer refresh times, only differing of pure colors, but deeper blacks because the particles aren't translucent. There we go. So yeah, nice little overview of it there for you. I think if I go to something with color, and again, they picked something that really shows off gallery really well here. You see it does have to do the flashes, but it isn't quite as many because there's 4 different colors here, where there are 6 on the Spectra. I think that's right. I don't even know exactly. Spectra 6, I guess, was because it had 6 colors, but I could be wrong with that. And Gallery does do colors really well, but it's not actually as good color as the Spectra. You don't get the kind of glossy almost look. Now the Spectra 6, having gone and seen the true Spectra 6 stuff from Pocketbook's brand Nxtpaper, you can see a video of that on my channel from my FA. It can look as good as printed photos now. Sure, right up close and personal at the big size that it is, you can still see the pixels, but standing back looking from even a meter away, it can look just as good as a printed photo. And I think that's really, really good. And that's really worth looking into. Cool. So really interesting chat there, everyone. Last one to have a look at. Yeah. Cool. Really good chat. Anyone got Rod on the line? Is Rod shown? Shane terminal refresh can go down to 1 minute, so you could have a clock face on it. Yeah, be quite cool, wouldn't it? Yeah. But the nice thing about it is that if you charge it, I mean, I've got it every 5 minutes at the minute. I charge it every 3 months. I mean, I'm yet to know how long these guys' batteries will last, but it's quite cool. Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm saying. Like, imagine, like, soon, I think they're going to get there. Whether actually, no, physics just says, no, we've had enough. That's as far as the universe is going to let you go. You know, of course, we're not going to get there in a hurry, Mitch. We're absolutely, like, this is like a full colors, like a 1 second refresh line, but at least you can do fast in black and white. You're absolutely right. But I think, you know, the future, the difference between this Spectra, whatever age this is, and the Spectra 6 now is massive. You know, it looks so much better. That like, they just keep refining these things. I mean, we're going to get to the point where we're going to have, yeah, still be different types of technology for different uses. You know, if we can get 70, somebody said 75 hertz, but even if we can get 30 hertz, you know, looking good out of color ink, I mean, just look like that. Like, there's no, you know, even 5 or 6 years ago, nobody would have batted an eyelid to see their ordinary LCD phone refreshing like this. You know, people would have been like, oh yeah, that's normal. That's a normal kind of, what do reviewers always say, that's a normal snappiness, you know. people would have been, and this is on its deeper refresh mode. This is not even on its kind of fast refresh. If I go into its fast refresh, this is only going to start looking better. Let's go on its extreme fast refresh. You can see, yes, I'm getting more ghosting, but it's not terrible by any stretch of the imagination. And it's quick. So yeah, the technology is going on so quickly. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm just showing off, really. I'm just here to show off. Yeah, like one of the things I have on my terminal is my YouTube monthly stats. No, this is my annual stats. So it's almost 7 million views in the last 365 days. Yeah, let's get those subscriber numbers up. 20. That's mad to me. 20,000 people, 20,000 times my videos have been shared. And this is mad to me as well. Like, and actually it's higher than that in a way, because like maybe 2 million of these are actually shorts views. So 2 million of those, the video is actually shorter than 2 minutes, but it's mad that on average people stick around. On average, this many times people have stuck around for basically 3 minutes. It's crazy. And I love this number. Lots of comments. View through rate, 19% of the time people have actually watched the entirety of the video, which might not seem like a lot, but on YouTube it is a lot. So yeah, but it's cool. Yeah, there's the 3 color technologies in one shot. Just to sort of reiterate that point, I think that's a really nice point. If you want to see 3 color technologies that e-ink have to offer right now, Kaleido, Gallery, and Spectra, all in one shot there. And actually, like it used to be, we'd have said, oh, Kaleido is definitely the port relation. Kaleido is definitely the one that's the like dead end. But now you realize, oh, there's a reason why e-ink have still pushed that. Let's give every one of them their kind of best hope. There's no front light on the, that's right, on. I didn't realize that front light was on. No front light on the Spectra 6. The Spectra rather. And this isn't even the latest Spectra. But yes, you can see they're very different colors, aren't they? And actually, I think Kaleido, I think it holds up quite well there. I think if you didn't know anything about the technology, I think you wouldn't necessarily say straight away that this was the worst colors. It's very yellow, very muted, very yellow on the gallery, sorry. And I think that the best, like across the full gamut, is Spectra, really. Yeah, do it with the front lights all off. Why not? You see no difference at all there, because the front light's just, in my well lit room, front light makes no difference at all on the Remarkable. Yeah, this is going to show poor old Kaleido. But see, I mean, I do have good front lights, good lights in the room. And so Spectra 6 there. So good blues, good reds, good greens. The gallery, great yellows. That's all really, I think. Blues aren't good on there. And actually, I think Kaleido, it's not too bad. And let's not forget, Kaleido is the one that can do that. Cool. Let's have a little chat. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. I like this well-deserved bit as well. It's nice of you to say that. Thank you very much. Hoping Books was going to release an ink phone. Yeah, well, they're going to get close to it, and you'll probably be able to make it do some calls or communicate some things. There's no black and white ink tablet with the front light available right now, correct? Yeah, no, there's still the Note Air 3, but I imagine they'll do a Note Air 4 at some point. Still the Bigme ones are out there. But yeah, most of them have gone no front light, haven't they? That's very true. And Hello to you. Got the Kindle Scribe 2 today. Yeah, I wish you joy of it. Very much enjoy that. Yeah. Yeah, and the ink phone, get the HiBreak Pro as well. Why not? On Bigme, the corners of comics are grey, but on Kindle, are they black? They're black. So you can choose. You can choose whether the background is white or black in the Kindle app. Whether you can do that on the Kindle e-reader, but on the Google Android app, you can choose whether they're black or grey. Kaleido is looking good. Want to thank you for introducing me to HiBreak Pro Black and White. Started reading a lot again. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, it did that for me as well. Just like having that, making that pull out your phone habit to be a pull out your phone and read habit was really good. No point in waiting on the new Palmer. HiBreak Pro Color looks the best option we're going to get for an ink phone. Yeah, it is. Yep. Thanks. Glad to have you as a subscriber. Hello, Aaron. Good to see you. Just picked up Note 4C. Great tablet that is. Does the HiBreak Pro work in America? I haven't tried it in America because I didn't have it with me in America. Did I take the HiBreak Pro? I don't think I took it with me. So I didn't actually try that one. But yes, it should do. They list all the bands that it works with. Probably Jay would be a good person to chime in on that one. Need an ink phone to one smartphone, well, Google Maps, and by extension Android Auto. Yeah, well, Android Auto works, but the scaling is so whack on the HiBreak Pro. I haven't tried it on the HiBreak Pro Color, but it worked on the HiBreak Pro, but it was like always writing was like too small to read. It was terrible. Now, last thing, just to talk a little bit more about the Remarkable Move. You've seen me use it here today. I am really enjoying it. I'm currently daily driving it here and at work. And that will be what I will give my main sort of final verdict on, will be how I find it at work. And I'm enjoying it. Sure, it's not ideal, but because of the size, but the ideal nature, for me at least, where I change different classrooms all the time, the size is really quite good. So I've always preferred the larger e-ink tablets, but the portability of this, if that's what you're going for, then sure, then you can go for it. So I'll be back with a final review of this soon, but it's going to be positive, and it's going to have a place, I think, in the top 10 straight away. So we'll see about that. But they just told me as I was getting ready for this stream, there were some updates, and the update had these main things. Firstly, create a link. I got all excited for create a link. And then I realized it wasn't the type of link that I was after. And I really like that about the remove by the whole remarkable ecosystem, is the select everything under a line, and you can move everything down, and you can have this long page like so. But create a link, let's do that. So what a create a link isn't select something and make a link to a different page. That would be cool if they could do that in the future, though, please. But you can create a link to a document, right? So in here, you go share, and then you can go create a link. And what it does is it sends, with one tap, sends a email with that link to whatever email address you have linked to your Remarkable. So if I were to go now into my email, I have waiting for me a Remarkable link that I can open, and opens in a browser. Just find the right thing. Here it is, open link. I'm just going to make sure I'm logged in, because I wasn't logged in this browser, so I can show you the full functionality of this. I'll just do that without sharing the screen. And then I'll show you the screen now. What you get in those few short taps here is you get this, which hasn't done very well at all. This is the wrong one, my apologies. So I'll go back. This was the first time I accidentally sent it this template, and this is the AI transcription of that template, which I was very confused about, but it must have just seen it as 1.1.1.1.1. Anyway, it was a blank page. That was my mistake, if you like, rather than the mistake of the Remarkable. But if I find then the actual link that I should have, which will be basically, it's come through as one thread, so that I should now find the latest one 1 minute ago, that one. Hopefully this one just works. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so now come back and have a look what you get. You get this. And as you can see, I've got a web page with the AI transcription of that whole thing I've been talking through. And then I've got the picture as well of my handwriting as well, which is quite neat, isn't it? That's quite nice. And so with one click, and by the way, if I wasn't logged in, which I am logged in there, and it's showing my email address anyway. Okay, well, yeah. You can probably guess the rest of that one, can't you? The transcription here, I can now edit this as well. Now, this is not changing the actual document there, but if I want to tidy this up, I can then copy that and send it to wherever I want to go. If I wasn't logged in, then I wouldn't be able to edit it, but I can copy it and take it away as well. So you can easily see that. You can see that's being quite useful. You can easily share that with people. And not only that, you can go ahead and share, create the link, and then it gives you the option to bring up a QR code, which you can then scan on a phone. And that takes you straight into the share page as well. There you are. So very quick to share now your notebooks and the AI transcription, which is generally quite good. So let's have a quick look. ViWoods Pro, fine. Not quite. Must phone digital paper websites. That was, I'm not sure that was. Pro with Hystrix. No, actually it's not done great, but maybe that's my handwriting. Very cool. Like Python. I didn't write that. So, okay, if you want AI to transcribe your writing well, you better write more neatly than this. But I think that's quite good and that's reasonably useful. And again, you can edit if you're logged in. But I don't think it's a line changer. Oh yeah, I don't think it's a live change to the Remarkable Notebook. So what hasn't happened as I'm changing that is I haven't changed this actual notebook itself, which I think they do need to bring that. That's what they ought to be getting at, is the live changes there. They've also alphabetized tags. Okay. I mean, that's just pretty basic, isn't it? And they said they've added more templates. Although when I looked in here for templates, in layers template, I didn't see any added at all. So maybe I'm missing something there. Maybe you have to make a new notebook to see those new templates. No, still the same number of templates there. And they said, but they've said they've added some templates on the Remarkable Move and on the Remarkable Pro. So we will see. Cool. Yeah, I thought the share feature was quite nice. Have I tried the minimal phone? Yes, I have. Did it do Android Auto reasonably well? Yes, it did. Did I like it at all? No, not really. Did I like typing on it? No. If I was a previous user of BlackBerry, I might have got along with this better, I think. But generally, I found this quite uncomfortable to use. Maybe I should give this another go at some point, see if they've done some updates, because they did very quickly keep updating it. So hopefully they've done it even better now. HiBreak Pro Black and White in USA. Yes, this was a response to the question about whether HiBreak works in the US. Updates are a constant issue. Even thinking about think about the color version. I've loaded so many books to read there. Yeah, cool. Did you enjoy that? You enjoyed using it? It says haven't loaded many books to read. Okay, my apologies. I can't wait for my HiBreak color to arrive. I reckon if it's a success, we might see one of the big boys join the ink. Yeah, that's a very interesting point, isn't it, David? Yeah. Yeah, and Samsung themselves are making an e-paper now. And we were talking earlier on about the monopoly that e-ink have over e-paper. And actually, Samsung are making screens that look as good as these. but we haven't seen many in the wild yet. So if Samsung can, Samsung are like one of the biggest display manufacturers in the world, aren't they, along with TCL, I suppose. And actually, if Samsung can break that monopoly, then wouldn't that be great? Yeah, imagine a Samsung Fold with an e-paper, true e-paper screen inside. That's long been a kind of grail phone for me. It is a foldable phone. Somebody asked which one this was. It's the Z Fold 3. A foldable phone with like an e-ink screen in the middle and a wider usable phone screen on the front, or vice versa. I'm not really picky which one's which. I've kind of always presumed an e-ink for writing notes on in the middle and reading on in the middle would be great. Get that sorted out. I thought linking like the SuperNote as well would be what you would see. Very warmly welcome to my subscriber base. Do I have the SuperNote and the Move? Do I have 1 minute overview which way to go for paper journal and calendaring user? I think journaling, I don't have the little, I did a remove versus SuperNote Nomad recently. And I would say, definitely for journaling, but for kind of bullet journal style use, then the SuperNote is going to be better. But neither are going to be bad. I think you've got that bit more width on the SuperNote Nomad, so that's a good thing. And I think you've got the linking, which it means like you can make a sort of table of contents, and you can link to your, if you want to make a kind of daily front page, a front page where you have like the days of the month or something, and you link out to where they start, or whatever your categorization that you'd use for journaling. I think it's a no-brainer, really. I think that it's difficult to keep on top, apart from using tags on the Remarkable. You can see, like for me, what I always used to do, and I should go back to this, I used to always just do a big bold heading at the top of each of my notebooks. And that was the heading that I saw, because I found that I could scan my own handwriting quicker than I could like see the titles. So I used to get the thickest brush that I could find, and I used to, this would be like live stream. Is that as thick as it goes now? It is, isn't it? I used to be able to get, oh no, maybe I used a marker. That's the shader. That's the marker. No. Yeah, not bad. Live stream, September the 25th, 25th of September. Funny, I said it in the American way and then wrote it in the British way. And then I'll be able to see this very easily in my headings. But you can see, actually, I get a little bit lost in this like thumbnail view because they all kind of look the same. So yeah. Use tags if you want to go down this route. I don't do it enough. They do have searching now, but again, the searching relies on it having, so it will search all the handwriting now. So let's try Bigme. Yes, it's only got one, and I know there's more than one notebook that I've written Bigme in. So yeah, it's not quite as easy to stay organized as the SuperNote is, but both of them you just need to keep on top of, and you can stay organized. I can read my own handwriting. Oh, you're talking about you can't read yours. Is a good share feature. I like that. Hand notes. I type my hand notes to a PC manually because I remember it better. Yeah, that's that editing process, isn't it, for us? You go through that. And as I say, that Remarkable users, that you're probably a shoe-in for being a Remarkable user, because you will enjoy that process of going over your thinking and doing that. But that's a luxury that some people don't have, because for me, we've seen how much content I put out. Like, I have to go very quickly from idea to video, really. Otherwise, I'll slow down. I can't cover as much as I want to cover right now. And it's different when I write an article. So I write an article like in a teaching magazine maybe once every 1.5 to 2 months, and I've got a lot more time to mull over that idea. So, you know, there's different speeds at which you work. If you have the luxury of working more slowly and more considered, then remarkable is great. If you want to work more quickly, then you need more powerful tools than what the remarkable is. Samsung is using its own, I don't think it's e-ink. I could be wrong. But it's a Spectra type technology, I imagine, yeah. Yeah, it is. So their Slack, yeah. The center Slack feature is basically their first, they're making a markdown document, basically. The center Slack is basically their first iteration of this share a link job. And then they're going to enable that to be sent to lots of different places. Cool, I'm going to move on for a bit. Chinese companies load these with tons of bloat and Chinese server connections. But, I mean, it's a hard one, isn't it? Because the world's technology is manufactured in China. You know, you go to IFA and it's you know, loads of brands are obviously Chinese brands now. They're just dominating the tech market. So it's a tricky one, but it's for cleverer, more well-informed people than me to discuss. Sorry. Yeah, well, again, watch my video on that one, mate. Yeah. Yeah, I would have loved that. Yeah, that kind of book, that kind of passport-sized book format with the ink in the middle would be great. Yeah, thanks. No worries. Remarkable move is the wrong aspect ratio, in my opinion. It's a shame they are committed to USI. Then yeah, it is. I don't think it's the wrong aspect ratio for everyone. It's the wrong aspect ratio. So it's 16:9, which is a weird. That's a widescreen TV ratio. And that probably is because that's what e-ink made rather than what they chose. Oh, is that right? So it is a Samsung. It is using e-ink. Interesting. Well, I mean, Sharp are working with e-ink on the monitor as well. So it's probably a bigger collaboration than we sort of give it credit for. Maybe it's just another way for e-ink to maintain their monopoly after all. No, it's I brought it down just to show. It's still there. It doesn't need charged yet. I think it's on like 30% or something. So that's another month. Yeah, interesting idea there. Cool, very glad to help. Yeah, I'm excited for Terminal X as well. I had my move for weeks. I'm liking it. Yeah. If you're in the remarkable ecosystem, it just fits. Yeah, great point. I'm glad that was my messaging on it. Really, it's just like if you've got remarkable and you can like afford this and want this, then it's a no-brainer, really, isn't it? First, an e-ink with AI chat GPT will dominate. Well, lots of them have put that in. I mean, like, I think like it's how do you integrate it? Because Bigme have done an AI GPT, but it's just like if I open this, and I haven't opened this yet on this phone because I don't see why I particularly would. You can just see it's a, you know, it's just a chat, and probably with Chat GPT or DeepSeek. You know, it's probably not even GPT-5, is it? With 4.0, if we're lucky. So, you know, it just depends, doesn't it? Like, yeah. I did think that it really, this Spectra got the gold of these sunglasses really well. I just leave this on the screen for a little bit of this. Did you see that video? The video filmed entirely on those glasses. That was a pain to edit. Ever relate to books that you work on artists, for example? Yeah, I did. I kept pestering them about that, but didn't get very far with it. I think they think they're right. Their app's fine for that, to be honest. We'll see. Yeah, it's. I mean, what it needs to be is like a sort of true second brain. Really, it needs to be that you're your notes are like automatically, if you want them to be, automatically transcribed and taken within a kind of like database of your kind of knowledge, so you can talk to the device like you're talking to your own kind of knowledge, and then it might be useful. But none of them really have that ability. I mean, even like I'm a plus user of ChatGPT. I use it a lot, and I can't just say to it like, remind me of all the times when I've discussed this, or like what are my opinions on this, or like it's got some knowledge now of who I am, but only the very specific stuff. It'll often say, oh, could you just remind me about what your opinions of that were, or like, do you know where, like, what specific chat we were doing that? And it's not, it'll go there. I think I like Remarkable's ideas on it, really, which is like using that AI to make a shared document there, really. Just using AI to make tedious tasks quicker, but not to rob you of the thinking. And that's the thing with AI, is like, why take away the joy of thinking? Like the joy of it, the joy of pen on paper is the joy of thinking. I'm not asking a computer to think for me. I'm asking a computer to help me bring my thoughts into something something fuller, something, to help me make my thoughts into reality. And this is the thing, I have some really hilarious like YouTube of people who could obviously write some great like sketch shows, and they're writing these great sketch shows, and then they're using AI to act them, basically, and they're really funny. They're really, really funny. So it's a person with a very clever comedy brain, but hasn't got the budget to make a sketch show. And that's the thing, like that's where AI has been used really powerfully. If somebody thinks they're going to type in "make me a funny sketch show," then it's not going to be a funny sketch show, because you'll only get the computer's idea, and the computer's going to give you a derivative of every other idea that's ever been out there, and it can't do more than that, because it's a large language model, as Jeff has said, meaning that it's just basically able to take loads of writing and loads of words and loads of previous examples and give you the best amalgamation to fit your kind of idea, to fit your prompt, and even worse, to satisfy you. This is the thing, it's like, it's so sycophantic, isn't it? It's like, oh yes, you're right. If you keep telling it it's wrong often enough, it'll eventually go, oh yeah, you're right, because it's just aiming to please, isn't it? And I don't think thinking's hard. I don't know whether you're being facetious or serious. And like, I love thinking. Thinking is like the greatest joy of life. Okay, apart from obvious things like holidays with your families and time with your loved ones and things like that. Like, thinking for me is the best bit. Thinking for me is the thing that I enjoy the most, and I don't want a computer to do that. I don't want a computer to do that bit for me. I want it to help me make my thoughts an actuality. No, I'd love to see a new version of Tab Mini C. I don't think they have abandoned that. I think that they're just waiting for the right time, really. How I would do it: you take a book you're reading, it takes your handwritten notes, makes them text, and summarize your notes versus what is around it, notes, and spit you back a summary. Yeah, I think that's it. So absolutely. So reading a book, you have highlighted certain key bits of that book, and so therefore it's kind of giving you something back, which is like your take on that book, or you're able to say to it later, like, based on the bits that I liked about Germinal, give me, help me write this in the way that Zola would have written it, like that type of thing. Based on your input, give me some different output. How they include the TV tips shows severance in the Terminal X announcement. I'm nervous about the capacitive swiping feature on the front frame. The responses it have. Yeah, I actually haven't watched Severance. Probably shouldn't I? Actually, thinking like a muscle of the brain. If you don't use it, you lose it. Correct. And there's already that we're discussing, like, we're relying on AI to do things that we sort of naturally did even just a short while ago, and we might forget how to do those things. Cool. Yeah, you can, but it's not, as I say, it's the memory on you isn't quite good enough, really. So yes and no, it'll get there. I mean, there will be, in the future, there will be local AI on a device like this, which knows exactly what you've written down into it, and you'll be able to say, you know, give me my thoughts on this thing. Okay, I'll go do that now. I'll see you later. All right, very much. I like it. You know, chill and connect, kind of the theme of my show, really, isn't it? Chill and connect. I like that a lot. Good. I'm glad that you've all been here chilling and connecting with me about these ink tablets. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I am old. Yeah. Yeah. These are the things, isn't it? Like you know, I think we all worry, don't we, about like what's this going to do to our Oh yeah, I would too, Mitchell. Yeah, absolutely. Like that'd be so expensive. You think about that Quilla from Quirk Logic was like £4,000, and it was only flip chart size. Yeah, I'd love it. Absolutely love that. Yeah, Jay. Sorry to go back to your point. Like we worry about like what technology is doing to people and young people and everything like this, stopping us thinking all these things. You know, calculators when they were invented, that was stopping people able to do maths, but these are all just tools and they allow us to do more quickly. We as a human race are going to do the same amount of thinking regardless. It's just what we will be able to do with those thoughts will be accelerated by such a point. You know, I always think I think a lot about AI, and I think about like Star Trek. You know, then they used to go to the holodeck, and they engage with the story, and the story was able to shift and change based on their inputs, and that's where this is going. You know, a computer that can actually make things up like that on the spot. Sure, continuous sort of theme. That's where this is all going, and already it's in computer games. When you go into a open world in a computer game, you know that open world is different to another that same area of that same open world is going to be populated with different things because it's generated then and there to you know, again on a theme as part of the game. All the main parts of the game are still there, but the smaller parts can be created, and the richness can come from AI sort of creating those worlds around our main themes. But we still drive the themes because we're the creative part. The computers are never going to be creative. Never. It's not the same thing. They can't be creative whilst they're learning on what we've written or what they have written. You know, once AI is learning from its own writing, sure, it isn't going to be creative. It's generative, but it isn't creative. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Nice one, everybody. I will see you all soon. And Moriarty AI, I love that idea. Absolutely. Yeah, I got really into that, you know, whole Sherlock. Now imagine, yes, Sherlock's mind palace, like that. That's what the kind of LLM is, really, isn't it? It's like the ability to access all this information so quickly. And Moriarty, yeah, Moriarty AI, like it. Cool. I will check out the channel. Yeah, chilling and connecting with people throughout the world. Good man. All right. See you all soon, everybody. I'll see you after.